Free agency is in full swing. Nick, I have to ask you, who is your winner of the free agency so far?
It's gonna sound like a cop out, but I got the Raiders.
I got the Raiders also making a lot of moves and somehow got lucky to bring back Max Crosby. But this is the Daniel Federico show. What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the Daniel Federico show with Nick Tazio. Free agency special of an episode today. Um, we got to start it off. You just said at the start of the show, who's your free agency winner so far is the Las Vegas Raiders. I will get into their free agency signings and what's going on. First, that Max Crosby. Crosby. I said Crosby such a weird way. I don't know why I said it like that. But that Max Crosby trade voided after a failed physical. So now the Raiders don't have the 14th overall pick. The Ravens get the 14th overall pick back, and they sign Trey Hendrickson. But the Raiders get back Max Crosby. They're most likely going to probably trade him away still. But if they don't, this team looks pretty solid. Nick, what do you think about that news being broken last night and how crazy the start of free agency has been? But mostly talk about Max Crosby failing his physical. I know he was hurt at the end of the year. Pretty sure it was meniscus. I could be wrong. But that is crazy, right?
Honestly, the craziest thing is that fans of the Daniel Federico show are gonna have to forget everything they heard on Sunday because
Yeah, man, we were so happy for that trade.
we were so happy for that trade. We were talking about potential scenarios. We wrote a eulogy for Joe Burrow. We did these things. Um, what do I think? I think that honestly, it's a lifeline for the Raiders. I think the Raiders are in a prime position to potentially contend for the division this coming year because we know Mahomes isn't going to be back for the start. So, given that, plus the fact we know what the Raiders are doing, likely in the draft, they're probably going to take Fernando Mendoza Jr. out of Indiana, and all the things they did in free agency. I, I think this only helps them by like a lot. This is something that is really, really, really good for their defense. And then in terms of the injury, I was doing some digging around and
Some
apparently
journalistic work there.
journalistic work, doing my best, big J journalist, trying. Um, but I was reading some articles and apparently the Ravens were optimistic about his short-term recovery, but the long-term recovery was something to be desired. So that is why they nixed the deal. Um, if you're a Raiders fan, you're probably kissing the ground just because of what has happened. And Max Crosby only would have helped the Ravens by that much, but I have to say, I'm happy to see him back on the Raiders.
I'm absolutely pumped to see him back at the Raiders, especially with their signings of Walker yesterday, N'Kobe Dean, re-signing Eric Stokes, trading for Taron Johnson. Who else did they sign? Kitty Pay. See, like this defense
What do you
got,
think?
yeah, Kitty Pay. He'll probably line up on the opposite side of Max Crosby if Max Crosby stays. Um, Max Crosby being, so we got to say added into this defense. Are we allowed to say added, re-added into this defense? The Raiders defense looks quite scary. Well, not scary. I'd say quite good. I'll give them the good. Rise of right now. They still got a whole. We still got a whole draft. They have 10 picks in the draft. They would have 11, and they would have a 14th overall pick, but they only have 10 picks. Like I say, only, but they have 10 picks in this upcoming draft. They're just going to add more talent on the defensive side. And then they go and sign Jalen Naylor from the Minnesota Vikings to a 3-year deal to booster up the receiving room. And Tyler Lindenbaum signs too, and he's one of the best centers in the National Football League. He gets signed from the Baltimore Ravens. Offensive line is solid. DJ Glaze Jr., Power Johnson, Colton Miller, now Linderbaum. Ashton Genty is going to have a fun year next year on this Raiders offense. And I think it's 100% sure that they're taking Mendoza at 1. This offense is going to look fun. Trey Tucker, Jalen Naylor, whoever wins the third string job, the third receiver job. I'm excited for the Las Vegas Raiders, and I don't think they're going to be a playoff team just yet. I want to say 8 games max wins, and then maybe 7 to 8 wins max next season for this Las Vegas Raiders. Big, big, big start in the right direction for the Las Vegas Raiders. Nick, what do you think about their offseason and what they've done in free agency?
So far, it's been pretty tremendous. I mean, they still have the number one pick in the draft. We know who that's going to be, and then they still have, like you said, 10 picks throughout this draft. So the Raiders, they still have more to do. But as of right now, they've definitely had a really good free agency so far.
Yeah, it's been tremendous. So how many games do you think they're going to win next year?
This is a big question because the Raiders play in a pretty good division, and it's going to get even better when Mahomes comes back. Obviously, uh, let's go 7 wins. So this is probably going to come back to bite me.
Yeah, imagine they 7 wins. Sounds good.
It sounds
Like it
it's
sounds
reasonable.
doable. Like, how
It's
many wins?
reasonable.
How many games did they win this year? 3.
Yeah,
And the amount of talent they just added to this roster, and I think they should keep Max Crosby around now. I think it's this defense could be scary, but to be honest, even if let's say they don't let's say here, let me think let me think for a second. Let's say they do trade Max Crosby.
yeah,
The price is low now, right? I think a lot of teams, if anything, all the teams have leverage on the Las Vegas Raiders now because of what the Baltimore Ravens did and he failed the physical with the Baltimore Ravens. They trade him away. I could see him be a Chicago Bear if they trade him away. What team do you think you could see him going to?
the Chicago Bears. Not to copy off you, but
But that's like the only like logical team, right? Like I could think of right now.
yeah, I mean, honestly, it's just the one that fits. Yeah, it'd be the Bears. I mean, he's just such a generational player. And then you're thinking of what the Bears did this year. You're thinking of their leadership, and then you're thinking about what they need in terms of defensive standpoints, and he fits right in. Um, I, does he want to go to Chicago? I don't know, but
Yeah, that's gonna be the number one question. Um,
in my honest opinion, Daniel, I think he's going to be a Raider this year.
yeah, I agree with you on that one. Just because it honestly makes no sense for him to leave now.
No, it doesn't.
Yes, like the cap space. I think they would like the cap space, but look what they've added to this defense, to this team in general. I know they still need to go get a running back too. They can
Yeah.
either they can easily draft one late in the draft if it really needed to be, because Ashton Genty he doesn't have a long history of injuries in his
Yeah.
football career, dating all the way back to college. He's a tough guy too. So, but you do need that insurance in case it goes down. Draft a running back late in the draft, or sign a cheap running back because that's probably the only really need going in this year. Because they're not a Super Bowl contending team. They're not trying to win the Super Bowl this year. I think it's more this is a perfect start for a rebuild. It feels like they've been trying to go through this rebuild, especially for a couple of years now, doesn't it? It feels like they've been trying to go through this rebuild for a couple of years now.
Yeah. I mean, it does kind of feel like that. they have been bad pretty well my whole life. So,
Yeah, yeah.
uh,
Sometimes I bet they missed John Gruden right about now.
oh my goodness, Chucky,
Yeah,
imagine.
Chucky. But yeah, uh,
Why wouldn't they? I mean,
yeah.
look what he did. He was such a good coach.
And then they traded him off, and he went to go win a Super Bowl.
I know. And you know what? He's probably going to get another job pretty soon at some point. That's my
Dude,
opinion.
I honestly like. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't see John Gruden going back to coach. I think he's having such a blast doing the social media thing for Barstool, and honestly, he's tremendous at it. And honestly, he's already won a Super Bowl. Coaching obviously is going to be a part of his life for the rest of his thing, but he has that quarterback camp. There should be no reason for him to even want to step back into an NFL season if he's not going to be there long term, right?
I Not necessarily NFL is what I'm coming from.
College.
Coordinator.
You know what?
SEC? Question.
SEC goes to the SEC, becomes a
That's
coordinator
what
there.
I'm thinking. Like, think about like one day Alabama, their offense falters in the Kalen DeBoer era, and they
And
Kalen
then, and then, and then they go
John
in
Gruden.
and but to be honest, you know how hard it is to probably picture, like, not even like just being like, hey, John, like, you're having a blast with Barstool
Yeah.
Sports right now. You're doing a tremendous job in the social media landscape in the social media field. And your quarterback camp is a tremendous. He just worked with Ty Simpson. I just saw on Twitter. Like, I just love when he does that stuff with these quarterbacks.
Yeah.
Um, it's gonna be. I have to say it'd be hard, but yeah, imagine like Alabama, or even Ole Miss. They're just whole team just plays terribly. They just have one magical call, and it's to John Gruden to come uplift their program. But like, if I saw a notification on my phone and said John Gruden's going back to coach football, I would not be shocked. I would be like, you know what, that is awesome. I hope it's honestly oh my god, I can't speak. I hope it's successful because the more successful John Gruden is, the better the world of football is.
Yeah, and I don't think he'll get another NFL job for a bit if that's what he wants to do. I just think college is more like his pace right now.
Yeah, but does he want to like follow suit with like good old Bill Belichick at UNC and
I
see how?
don't know. I don't know.
It,
Like,
it, I've been
let
seeing
me
these
ask you a
clips.
question.
Yeah,
Let me ask you a question. Would you rather follow suit with Bill Belichick or work for Barstool?
okay. I think I'd rather work for Barstool Sports. Man, those guys have an absolute blast.
They have a blast and like I don't know. Like I
But
listen.
yeah, like if I was like John Gruden's spot,
Yeah.
I'd probably go UNC with Billy B.
Yeah.
Like follow history, like go to, not UNC but college.
Well, I
Like the
mean,
reason why I compare it though is because Bill Belichick's an old man.
yeah.
He went to a college to try to rebuild it. Does he even have like UNC is not a dominant football factory. So he's going to go and try and insert, let's go. Like, they're not going to win a national championship under Bill Belichick. They're never going to win a national championship under Bill Belichick. Or for maybe in like 10, 15 years, whatever the high school prospects are like. Bill Belichick will never win a national championship at the college level. If he's there for 5 years, 3 years, if this is his last year, whatever. I do not see him coaching longer than 7 years. He's an old man, like I said.
Yeah, I
Go,
don't
going to college. I feel like college is such a unless you're a head coach, it's a young person's field, like in your 30s, early 40s to coach, be a coordinator, to be a head coach. Unless you're like Nick Saban, it could be you can go and be a dominant head coach in college, literally until you can't even walk straight anymore.
I you're right. Look at the recent hirings, like Dan Lanning. He went to Oregon. He's a pretty young guy.
Like there
Like
is older guys for sure. Like
Riley, he's
I'm
a
pretty
really
sure
young
like
guy.
Patricia is like Matt Patricia's. Where's he at right now?
Well, he's at Ohio State, but like look at me.
Still, like what's he in his 40s?
Yeah, but I'm a Michigan fan.
Mm-hmm.
We just hired Kyle Whittingham
Mm-hmm.
in his 60s.
Yeah. That's
And he was at Utah for all those years. Um, Lately, the trends have been like hire the young guy, hire the young offensive gene. Just same with the NFL.
well, yeah,
Like,
same with the NFL, but like
Kyle Shanahan.
I'm thinking just like obviously like it is a young coaching is a young person's thing. I think or starting to like not young like you're not gonna be a head coach when you're 20. You're not gonna be a head coach or anything like that in the National Football League in your
Yeah,
20s. But in your 30s and your 40s and your 50s, I think honestly, you can coach football all the way until you're your eyes closed forever.
pretty well. I
But
mean,
I would like to say like kids nowadays, they don't care if you won, how many Super Bowls you won. They just care if they get along with you. How is college kids going to get along with Bill Belichick?
it's pretty hard to imagine that they would in general.
That we just finished college. We've been
Yeah.
around college athletes. I've been around high school athletes.
Well, I mean, like, yeah, look at the way that, like, if you were in college, ladies and gentlemen, and you're playing college football in NCAA Division One, you're in the ACC, and you're a starting whatever for the University of North Carolina, say like middle linebacker, would you like,
And I'm not saying like just Bill Belichick. Obviously, they respect Bill Belichick. It's Bill Belichick. But I'm saying like old coaches are like not like besides Bill Belichick, just older coaches in general.
yeah, but I hate to say it, Daniel, but the girlfriend thing throws a lot of guys off. It throws a lot of guys off because all of these guys are on social media and they see all these memes. They see everybody making fun of the fact that,
Yeah,
you
that's
know,
that's true. That is true. Like these guys are all like in their 20s. They all like they're probably laying in bed before they go to bed and watching
yeah,
TikTok reels, and Bill Belichick's girlfriend's probably popping up on them. They've probably seen the photo of Bill Belichick's picking up his girlfriend by his feet.
yeah,
You ever seen that photo? Like how do you take
I've
like
seen that
how do you
picture.
take your head coach seriously after that?
You don't because that's not a football coach.
Like no disrespect to Bill Belichick, he's the greatest coach of all time. I think it's like one of the best coaches of all time. There's been a lot of great coaches,
Yeah.
but you're coaching college. You have to like you can you don't have to get along with all your players. You just have to make sure they respect you. How can they respect you if you're acting like a 20-year-old when I don't even know how old Bill Belichick is. Is he in his 70s or late 60s?
70s.
Yeah, 70s. You're doing that. You're acting like you're 20 in your 70s, man.
It's ridiculous. And it is,
Where does
yeah,
Bill Belichick even find that girl? Is he going to college bars?
he might be. He might be.
To be honest, like if I was at a bar and I saw Bill Belichick walk in, that would be awesome.
If you're at a bar and you see a Bill Belichick walk in, what's the first thing you do?
Hey, sir, how you doing? I'm Dale Federico. Can I work for you?
Coming from a job perspective, honestly, you know what? I think Bill Belichick is having one of the weirdest, like, late career archetypes in terms of storylines and whatnot. Um, Honestly, I'm just weirded out. I'm just really weirded out by the whole.
Like when you see like when I see it on like on Twitter or whatever, like when there's a new photo of his girlfriend and himself, I'm just going, that's crazy, man. Dude, his sons are older than her.
And that is
Like
weird.
that's like the weirdest thing ever. Like, we gotta move on. We gotta move on. We can't even talk about. All right, but we have to move on from talking about Bill Belichick. I don't even know how that started. I'm gonna be honest with you. This is just how we talk.
Yeah.
But let's go to some more free agency news. It's supposed to be a free agency, so I gotta hear it from you.
Yeah.
Kenneth Walker
Oh,
signing to the Kansas City Chiefs, the Super Bowl MVP, leaving Seattle, going and signing with the Kansas City Chiefs. In my opinion, bad move on Seattle letting him go. With Jack Charbonnet also probably not even going to be ready for the first week of the season. And great move for the Kansas City Chiefs. Nick, what's your thoughts on that?
I, I love it for the Chiefs. I mean, they pretty well got him for like a franchise tag price.
Yep.
Um, we saw what he was like with Seattle. Like he's a great running back, and the Chiefs have been badly needing an explosive addition to their running back like core because Isaiah Pacheco and the running back duo last year did not cut it, and
And
it's
Isaiah Pacheco's out of there now. So
and he's
where did
out of there.
Isaiah Pacheco sign at today?
I'm actually not sure. I'm actually
Was it
not sure.
the Lions?
He might have. Let me
I
just look.
think he signed. I think he signed for the Lions to the Lions today.
Let me just look that up.
But
Sorry.
yeah, like, I get what you're saying though. Yeah, they
Yeah, it's the
massive up,
line.
mass. Yeah, to the Lions. But yeah, massive upgrade for Kansas City. But keep on going.
Well, I just think he's such a good athlete and his contact balance. Like you saw him, Daniel. Guys were just bouncing off him and he was able to just motor forward. And he's really adept in the passing game too. Mahomes will have some dump it off too. I just think this is a really good addition to a Kansas City Chiefs squad that is now behind in the AFC West. So how long have we been wanting a Chiefs running back to truly be like what was the last Chiefs star running back? Jamal Charles.
Yeah, Jamal Charles. Yeah.
So imagine
Well,
if
like
you
Pacheco had hints of decency,
yeah, but
but not to Charles.
who, who do you like better, Pacheco or Kenneth Walker?
Kenneth Walker.
That's what I'm saying, you know?
Yeah.
And I now the other question is, Daniel,
Hmm.
what did the Chiefs do in number 9? Because we had him taking Jeremiah Love.
Yeah. Well, defensive player would probably be a start. They lost so many defensive players in free agency, so I think they'd have to go corner at 9.
They could even go Caleb Downs. Could you imagine if the Kansas City Chiefs somehow got Caleb Downs?
Well, when's Patrick Mahomes supposed to be back?
I
Like, there's no like original timetable. We'll probably know the timetable when training camp rolls around, but if he's not ready for like he has to be ready in time to make I don't see him being out long
yeah.
because Travis Kelsey came back. So then they're gonna go and because they already boosted up the offense with Kenneth Walker, they're gonna go at the 9th. It's gonna be a secondary piece. It's gonna be a corner or Caleb Downs. If they get like a safety, but it's most likely gonna be a corner if Caleb Downs is not there.
Yeah.
So they're gonna go and try and boost that defense. If it's Travis Kelsey's last ride, that's what I think it is because he did re-sign back. I think he knows something that Patrick Mahomes is going to be back in time for the season, or at least miss 4 games. Are they going to make this for like one last ride for Travis Kelsey to win another Super Bowl?
Maybe. I mean, if they can, obviously I think they will.
Yeah.
I don't know if they have the means to do it this upcoming year. Like I don't know.
But like, if you look at all their past rosters, everyone's been like who's been like you look at their defensive playmakers just come out of nowhere.
Yeah, they tend to, yeah, which
Yeah,
is
they tend to but they do get them in the draft. They're
yeah,
usually rookies or year 2 guys that just come out of not I would say not come out of nowhere. Everyone knows who they are, but they kind of like play it to like a next level.
yeah.
And I think this is like you can never count out this Kansas City Chiefs offense, especially with Patrick Mahomes at the helm. But now with Kenneth Walker, great offensive line that they have over there in Kansas City. I'm a big fan of their offensive line over there. Not many people are. They think they're declining a little bit after last year's play, even with Patrick Mahomes. But I don't think you can ever count this team out. And Kenneth Walker, what we've seen from him when he's been a lone back, popping off. Look what he did in the Super Bowl. Look what he did in those 2 playoff games without Zach Charbonnet. Look what he's done without Zach Charbonnet in his career. Him being the lone back, he could easily be a top 5 running back in the league.
And that is what the Chiefs are thinking. That is what they were thinking when they signed him to this deal. And it is It, honestly, right now, Daniel, like given the price, to me, it's the steal of free agency.
Yep. No, it's 3 year deal worth up to 45 million, 28 and a half guaranteed. That's a steal. Franchise tag. What was the franchise tag set at? 14 and a half? Like that's a little bit obviously like more up. That's one hell of a deal by the Kansas City Chiefs ownership group, general manager, front office. I think the agent, Kenneth Walker's agent, took it out. But you pay a close attention to the Seattle Seahawks. What is their thought process on this? Because they've also lost pieces. They've re-signed Shaheed, but they've also, I think, the biggest piece that they've lost, obviously, is Super Bowl MVP Kenneth Walker. And what's their approach here? Is Zach Charbonnet? Do they see Zach Charbonnet being their number one back for years to come? Even though he's coming off of what, a torn ACL from the playoffs. So what's your thought process on that?
I think nowadays in the NFL, you can draft a really good running back in later rounds, and
Oh
it's
yeah.
just become like a consistent thing. So I think that's kind of what the Seahawks are hoping for. The other thing I believe is, although I do think that the Chiefs got him for a steal, the Seahawks were not willing to pay for that. And
But why is that? Like, doesn't that seem a little foolish?
I think it is because they're going to give Jackson Smith and the Jigba and some of these guys really big deals,
You
and
know,
they're
that's right.
they're stars. That's what I think.
You know what? I agree with you on that because honestly, if I was in their situation, I'm just thinking about this now. Honestly, yeah, I'd pay JSN over Kenneth
That's
Walker.
that
Eh,
that's my reasoning. And although I don't really love the Seahawks paying Rashid Shaheed and then letting guys like Boye Mafe and Kobe Bryant go, and even Tariq Woolen, like
Like,
he
yeah, he almost almost sewered you guys in the playoffs.
he almost really screwed us in the NFC Championship. But like he's a valuable player, and the Eagles got themselves a steal at a 1 year deal, halfway decent price for a corner. Like he's gonna perform for them this year, and I know they had a lot of people leave as well, but for the Seahawks, I think they are just preparing to sign their star players like Jackson Smith and Jigba. Devon Witherspoon, even Charles Cross to big multi-year extensions where they're going to need a lot of cap space to keep them happy.
Is that why they're having such a quiet start to free agency? They've only signed. I th- I want to say I think they've only signed 3 players as of right now in free agency, or they've only. I don't think they've actually signed a free agent. I think they've only re-signed players. Is that why they're gonna be? That's why they're off season so going so quietly because they're saving up the bread, saving up the money for JSN and all those other players that you just named.
Probably. I mean, that's my logical thinking. Uh, the free agency like class for this year, number one, it's already been accounted for by a number of teams up to this point. But I also think that the Seahawks are confident with what they have, and they're going to try to roll with what they have in the next year. I don't think they're going to make it, obviously, to the Super Bowl or win anything monumental, just because it's very rare for teams to do it back to back, unless you're, in the prime of the Kansas City Chiefs dynasty or something like that.
Yeah. Um. But let's move on to to a player now. Alec Pierce
Yeah,
re-signing with the Indianapolis Colts. Michael Pittman Jr. traded to the Pittsburgh Steelers.
yeah.
Do you like that move?
The Pittman move or the Alec Pierce?
Both. Both. Well, because Alec Pierce, we all knew like if he signed a mega deal, Pittman was out. Do you like how that correlated?
Yeah, because I think Alec Pierce is a better receiver than Michael Pittman. I just think in today's age, you know, he kind of plays the game the way a lot of teams like receivers to play the game. Like he led the league in yards per catch last year. It was like 21.3 yards per catch, which is pretty unreal. So Alec Pierce, he's one of the best deep threats in the league. Like consistently, he's been a really good receiver, but he doesn't really get a lot of uh, um, you know, like attention because the Colts are the Colts, unfortunately to say. But
The Colts are Colton, but they also re-signed Daniel Jones to a massive deal,
and that's one thing that I'm skeptical of
like a
because
2-year deal worth up to $100 million post torn Achilles. I know we're talking about Alec Pierce right now and Michael Pittman, but we got to add that in. That's
yeah,
a robbery by Daniel Jones' team right there, right? Like, yes, he was playing fantastic football before he tore his Achilles. It's not like he chipped a bone or broke a bone or anything. You don't pay that amount of money to people. I'll say this for the rest of time. You don't pay that amount of money to a player because that goes up to for 2 years, 100 million, 50 each, $50 million each. You don't pay players that are coming off of an ACL injury a buttload of money, or for sure an Achilles injury. Like, what do you think about that?
well, he hasn't played a full season since 2022. So,
And he like what was the like is it all guaranteed? Like it can't be all guaranteed. I know it's I'm seeing 100 million here, so I'm gonna guess 50 million next year, 50 million the year after. That's crazy to me. And he hasn't played a full season of 2022.
yeah, and he's getting paid this money to be the Colts quarterback. And apparently, one of the reasons why Alec Pierce re-signed in Indy is because Daniel Jones was coming back. So if Daniel Jones doesn't, you know, health-wise live up to what he was this year for the
Yeah,
first
pre-injury.
pre-injury, then things in Indy are going to get messy. And that division, like Indy has a prime opportunity to win it this year. I
All I,
really think they do.
all I think is, you know, they were awesome before he got hurt. The Indianapolis Colts. They were 8-2 before he went down with injury. They could have honestly made the playoffs if they didn't go, hey, Philip Rivers, you want to come off your couch and come play quarterback for us. I bet if they had a little bit of a mobile quarterback that had, I like to say 20-year-old knees instead of 40-year-old knees, because they had Riley Leonard right there, and you're telling me Riley Leonard couldn't win one or two more games to get you into the playoffs? Ridiculous, but they were awesome. So if they get back to like if Daniel Jones starts playing the way he played before injury, pre-injury, because look who was popping off that year, like last year. Alec Pierce was going off. Pittman was honestly playing a big role too. Jonathan Taylor was on pace for probably his best season as a Colt and probably his best season of his career. And then he went down with injury, and the whole offense fell apart. You can't blame it on anyone else. The only people you could blame on why that offense went downhill so badly was, I want to say, because of Philip Rivers. They only needed two or three more wins to get into the playoffs, and they brought on Philip. Did he even win a game? Did he
Uh,
win that 10-9 game, or did they lose
game
that
I
10?
thought
What's up?
he won one game.
Did he win one game as a starter last year?
So,
Because what was his first game? Wasn't it against the Seahawks and it was 10-9? Was that the game? No, Seahawks won that game, right?
yeah, if we didn't win if we didn't win that game, I'd be
See, like it's been
very
such a
upset. Philip Rivers didn't win any games this year.
and how many starts?
Three.
Well, when you have a quarterback that can't throw longer than 15 yards, that's bound to happen. But I can say pre-injury of Daniel Jones last season was an awesome watch. Players coming back from a torn Achilles, they don't really pan out to be the same player.
In no sports, dude.
In none, no sports, in zero sports. Like more and more now, you've seen players come back from torn ACLs and be the same player that they've been.
Yeah.
But people don't forget about that you have no ACL
Yeah.
torn before in your career. You pop your Achilles. I can't like. Can you Google this just in case I'm wrong here?
Yeah.
Um, I don't remember the line. I actually can't think of one player that came back from tearing his Achilles and being the same big time performer. And I could be totally mistaken, and this will re-jog my memory if I am mistaken. But I actually can't remember it right now. A player that popped their Achilles, his right Achilles too, and anyone's came back and put up the same type of numbers that they did before. And I could be totally wrong. It's probably a hard Google search because Google's probably gonna say, yeah, they all came back, but you can't see any numbers or stuff like that. But I could be totally wrong. Someone will for sure correct me when I'm wrong. But Colts offense isn't even that bad too, even with Michael Pittman going to the Steelers. DK Metcalf and Michael Pittman Jr. Does that mean now Aaron Rodgers is coming back, or are they rolling? Are they going to roll the dice on a quarterback in this year's draft, or are they going to be like, hey, national champion Will Howard, you want to be the starting quarterback? What do you think about the Pittsburgh situation? You don't have to Google the Achilles injury anymore. I'm pretty sure I'm correct that not a single player has came back and been the same or put up the same. Probably one or two players had, but they probably haven't fully popped their Achilles. It was probably a strain.
Yeah, I had a number of players come up, like in terms of like numerous sports. Like David Beckham came up, so that was one that came up. Uh,
David Beckham tore his Achilles.
yeah, so
I didn't
apparently
even know that, to be honest.
David Beckham tore his Achilles, it said here. Um, so yeah, David Beckham tore his Achilles in 2010 while playing for AC Milan. And then he came back to play for LA Galaxy after that. So that's when he came to MLS.
Oh, okay. So he probably he's like, yeah, I can't play European soccer anymore, European football anymore, off of a torn Achilles. But I can play in America.
Yeah. And then in terms of the Steelers, I think I'm a big believer in Ty Simpson. Like, I really think
Dude,
Ty is a good
I'm gonna be
quarterback.
honest. I like Ty Simpson, but it just feels like Alabama isn't Alabama when he played football. Like he didn't. It didn't feel like when we've seen the quarterbacks in the past. They've dominated every single game of their college careers for Alabama. He didn't dominate every single game, but when he did play fantastic, I like him a lot.
Yeah, I think he's really smart, and I think he's gritty, and I think dude, he's a perfect Steelers quarterback.
Oh, Ben Roethlisberger type, like gritty,
Gritty,
throws a good ball.
throws an accurate, good ball, makes pretty good decisions. But I agree with you. Like Alabama was not Alabama when he was their quarterback. Like Kalen DeBoer, the era under Kalen DeBoer has not been obviously anything close to the Nick Saban era. And, it does leave some to be desired in terms of talking about individual players. But I think Ty Simpson is a good pro quarterback in waiting. I do think so.
I'm excited to see the video that comes out with Gruden's quarterback camp with Ty Simpson because that's like honestly like when I used to do draft previews for a website, I honestly used to let's hear what John Gruden's saying about these quarterbacks or what people are
Yeah.
saying about these quarterbacks because man like you kind of find out if a kid's a dum dum when he's talking to John Gruden or if he's pretty smart. The best is when he gets them but they're asking them about their cadence, and it's always a clap. College football is like so beyond like behind, and when I think about that, it's like you think those quarterbacks with this with the clap. That's it. That's like you want those type of quarterbacks to come in and be successful in year one when you have to go play. Like you ever play in Green Bay at Lambeau on a Monday night, or you ever go play at Soldier Field on a Sunday night? You
Yeah.
can't clap. You have to use your vocal cords, get that up. but like if you're going from a clap in college football, just how simplified could the game really be in college? Because I honestly I have no idea what those programs are like within house over there. But the whole it's been like this for a long time. It drives me nuts. But yeah, he does seem like a smart quarterback at Ty Simpson.
Yeah.
Um, will he be the second quarterback taken in the draft? You think? Because we already know Mendoza's going one. Like, and
Yeah, Mendoza's
if
going
the
one.
Raiders raider it up and don't draft Mendoza at one, and they draft like Avril Reese at one, and Aiden
Wouldn't that
O'Connor.
be wouldn't that be one of the craziest surprises over the last
That would
like
be the. It would be the.
month?
But how this offseason is going, I would love it, and I would obviously love it. I'd be like, this is awesome. This is awesome. Because but then the Jets will just draft Mendoza at two because
Yeah,
but they just reunited with we got there's been so many like
so
transactions
many.
and stuff going on. So we just kind of spit it in here. Geno Smith going back to the Jets, but let's finish it off with the Pittsburgh Steelers. What were you about to say?
Look,
Oh yeah, the second quarterback. Yeah, would he be the second quarterback drafted? My fault.
yeah, yes, I think he will be the second quarterback drafted. He has shown over this past year that I think he deserves to be the second quarterback drafted. He just looks to me really pro ready. Like he looks confident when he stands behind center, under shotgun, whatever. He looks confident. He looks like he's able to take care of his business. And he has shown that he's able to take care of his business. He's accurate. He's tough. He's a pretty big guy. Um, I think it's a different question as to what the Steelers do in terms of starting him on day one or starting him later on down the season. But yeah, to answer your question, I think Ty Simpson is the second quarterback taken.
Let's move on to some more free agencies. For more free agents that have been signed. Mike Evans going to the 49ers. He got paid a lot of money for a hamstring that seemingly pops off the bone probably every other week. I think that's like I'm not a guy to say overpay because you kind of like can you really say it's an overpay on a guy that's going to be a future Hall of Famer? No, but $60 million for Mike Evans. He's on the older side now of age. He's clearly had hamstring problems. And
Hmm?
now he's going to go play with one of the most injured teams. That training staff is terrible. But if you want to go, it's because the electrical field right beside their stadium. You can go with that theory. I'll probably go with that theory. He's not going to like. I just don't see him playing a full season in any of those 3 years with the San Francisco 49ers. But I like his veteran presence for Ricky Purcell.
Yeah, he's a good leader for Pearsall, but he's 32, and like you said, like he's had a lot of injuries. As a Seahawk fan, I don't like to see Mike Evans in my division just because. What was that stat? Was it 11 straight one?
11 straight 1,000 yard seasons.
That is almost mind-boggling.
And if he gets like, I think it's like I want to say he's just under 200 to be he just needs under 200 more catches to have 1,000 catches. Like that's terrific. I don't know if
He,
he gets it because he'll probably need to play like unless he just pops off and gets like 100 catches this season and like I don't know another 100 next season. But yeah.
he is first ballot Hall of Famer. Like he,
See, that's a great debate right there. Because hear about it. So me and the guys talk about this all the time with first ballot and stuff like this. I honestly don't think he's a first ballot Hall of Famer. But hear me out. Like I understand that the 11 straight 1,000 yard seasons. I understand all that. How many All Pros does he have?
let's look it
Has
up.
he ever been top five or top 10 in his position? He's for actually, let's say top seven. He's for sure been top 10. Has he ever been top seven in just his position alone in his career? I'm not saying he's not going to be a Hall of Famer. I just don't think he's going to be a first ballot.
You're probably right. He has never been first team All Pro.
And that's the debate that me and the guys, like my guys, like my friends, have a lot because man, like you could make another argument that he could be a first ballot Hall of Famer Because let's say if he gets 1,000 career catches, and he always has that, he just tied that record for 11. Or last season he tied it for 11 straight 1,000 yard seasons. Like those are some serious statistics. But if you also look at how many times he almost didn't make it, so he actually needed a full season to get him, that is kind of like the more unimpressive part because like especially when the game like when the 18th game came around or the 17th game came around, he needed that 17th game to get a couple of them. And his best season I want to say is like what 1,100 yards, maybe 1,300 yards.
Something like that. But the other thing is that his prime coincided with the primes of Antonio Brown,
Yep.
Julio Jones, prime Odell Beckham Jr. Guys who like Julio Jones is on a lot of first team All Pro lists, as is Antonio Brown, Calvin Johnson, AJ Green. So it kind of also has to do with, in my opinion, who Mike Evans played with in the league, like
Yeah, no,
during.
100%. Yeah, you're 100%, 100%
So
right. But if you look at like his, give you, but yeah, like, he could easily be a first ballot. He could also probably had a lot of first all pros if he didn't play in that like with those receivers on the other teams. Like it could go other ways. Just because he doesn't have those accolades, it's gonna be hard to put him in the Hall of Fame for a first ballot. But he's 1,000% undoubtedly a Hall of Fame receiver. But him going to San Francisco. I just don't know how he's going to stay healthy. Like we've had like multiple injuries just in this season alone, and that's what causes that what causes me concern. 32 years old,
yeah.
in and
And
out of the lineup.
San Francisco is notorious for injuries plaguing their offenses, like George Kittle, Christian McCaffrey, obviously. And I hate saying Brock Purdy. Like I hate saying this, but like these guys do get injured, and I think that Mike Evans, first of all, he's a great receiver for Brock Purdy to work with.
Terrific.
He's easily the best receiver that Brock Purdy has thrown the ball to, and
Oh yeah,
I'm talking about receiver,
yeah,
not like George
yeah.
Kittle.
Not like player. You're like tight
I,
end or Christian McCaffrey, but receiver, 110%.
he's easily the best player, and I know San Francisco is like weird this year because like there's rumors that they're going to trade Trent Williams, and it kind of seems like they're blowing things up in a sense. Like a lot of these guys, like personally, I think they missed their Super Bowl window. Like I think it's closed.
Yep.
I think it's done. Like McCaffrey, Kittle, they're consistently injured every single year. And I like watching those two players, but that's just the fact of the matter. And the other fact of the matter is that Brock Purdy throwing the ball to Mike Evans and Ricky Pearsall primarily is not enough to win the NFC West for the San Francisco 49ers. So I like it for him to end his career. I don't like it for the team.
Let's move on to another free agent because the show is winding down. I want to get to a couple more free agents and a couple more, trade talk or not trade talks, cut talks, like people who have been released. And I also want to talk about my Dallas Cowboys. But first, I want to talk about the Carolina Panthers. They've had a pretty solid free agency, bringing in Devin Lloyd. I'm pretty sure they brought in Jalen Phillips too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, they brought in Jalen Phillips and Devin Lloyd. Um, I found those two moves I like the Devin Lloyd move a lot more than Jalen Phillips, but that's like they're still not going to be like a great team. Like I look at Carolina, I don't look at Super Bowl contending team. I look at a playoff team, that's for sure. But I'm not with these additions. I'm still not looking at yeah, they're going to win the Super Bowl. No, I'm looking. Oh yeah, maybe now they'll actually maybe win a playoff game because we still don't know we don't know what type of Bryce Young we get each week.
Yeah.
Still, but those two signings right there and the step in the right direction for this Carolina Panthers team, especially Devin Lloyd, and I like his contract too. He signed
Cheap
a
deal.
3-year deal.
Yeah. Cheap deal. Like essentially for a guy like him, he's still 27.
Yeah,
So
he's young.
he's still super young. And like I think this is Carolina kind of reinforcing their belief that they can win this division. And I think they can. Like they're easily the best team in
Yeah,
my.
yeah, yeah. They can easily for sure make the playoffs, but I don't think Super Bowl.
No, I don't think Super Bowl either, but I think this is great building blocks on the defensive side for building a roster that can contend for a Super Bowl. Do I think Bryce Young is the guy? Probably not, but at least he's playing with a defense that is building. Because don't forget, they also have Derek Thomas, who's arguably the league's best defensive tackle, and then J.C. Horn, probably not the league's best corner, but he's in the top five, would you say?
Yeah, I really like that. I'm really high on JC. Um,
But this Panthers
it's
defense,
just the Panthers team overall.
yeah,
They're a good team overall. I just don't really like they're like they drafted a pretty good running back in Brooks, but he's never gonna. I don't think he's ever gonna play like a consistent season in the National Football League. They have Chuba there. Chuba is on the decline each season. It feels like every time he plays. I just don't like this offense too much. I think they're but don't get me wrong. They're young,
they're super young, and
super young team, and honestly, them making the playoffs. And if they make the playoffs in consecutive years, that's a massive win. Especially, I'm not a believer in Bryce Young. I'm not.
I don't really blame you. I mean, like I'm not like a full believer in him either, but they do have a arguably a number one in Ted McMillan at
Yep.
wide receiver.
Yep.
So they have him. Rico Dowdle is a free agent, I believe.
I think he's signed.
Did he sign already?
I think Rigo Dowdle signed, and I want to say that I think he went to the Steelers.
Let's see who Rico. Yeah, they did. They got Rico Dowdle. So I don't know. Like I think this is a really these are two
They also have what Trevor Etienne there too, not Travis, but his brother Trevor.
yeah, Travis went to New Orleans, but
Yeah.
Trevor yeah, they got Trevor. I just think the offense leaves so much to be desired. Like they need so much work on the offense, but the defense, getting a guy like Lloyd and then Jalen Phillips, like my brother's Dolphins fan. Like he had Jalen Phillips on his team for quite some time, and I think that his talent is really good, but the injury concerns far outweigh the talent, in my opinion.
Like he popped his Achilles too a couple years ago,
And he has
and
concussion.
but he's never been consistently back to that style that he was playing at.
No, he hasn't.
But he is actually still a great player, and that's why they signed him to an $80 million guaranteed contract.
Yeah.
That could be coming up to 120 total. Still a good player, but man, like we were just saying earlier about the Achilles injuries, they don't really ever come back, you know, like they used to.
Yeah, it's
Jalen Phillips, though, I can say though confidently, because I know now I think I am wrong about my thing how they don't actually usually come back. I can say he's the guy that came back the closest from a popped Achilles and still be somewhat dominant.
he's still very young and athletic edge
Yeah.
rusher. Like he's a guy who's got a lot to give. And it's honestly a wonder because he's been banged up a lot in his career.
Well, let's move on to another trade. I'm pretty sure we touched on the Trey Hendrickson earlier, where we're talking with the Max Crosby trade. What a crazy 24 hours that's been. But I'm pretty sure we already talked about it. And if we didn't, we can reinstate it a little bit. 4-year deal, $112 million contract for Trey Hendrickson. Um, this guy's a baller, man. So
Yeah.
they go from they're about to pay Max Crosby a buttload of money and said, you know, we're gonna avoid that trade. We're gonna keep our 14th overall pick, and we're gonna go inside Trey Hendrickson. Awesome move for the Ravens, right?
Yeah, you would think so. I mean, I think so too.
If he stays healthy,
That-
that's like we talk about this a lot. Like if they can stay healthy, they could be great. No, he's like the one player that like his injury, he's injured quite a bit.
yeah, it's just if I'm a Ravens fan, I'm so depressed that I didn't get Max Crosby.
Yeah.
And I can't help but thinking that this is, again, no offense, Trey Hendrickson, but this is kind of a downgrade in
Yeah, oh,
terms.
1,000%. But for the not the Ravens standpoint, I kind of
Yeah,
like it because they get to keep their 14th overall pick and they get them like obviously like I would give up that 14th overall pick every single day for Max Crosby. I'd give
yeah.
up the Cowboys 12th overall pick right now for Max Crosby.
I know, and I don't blame you. I just think that the Ravens, this last like 24 hours has been really bad for them in terms of Max Crosby not being able to come and play for them. And I was listening to the press conference, the GM, Eric DaCosta,
Yeah.
excuse me. He was dude, he was gutted. Like, and he used that word too, but he was just like completely and utterly distraught. And I can't help but feeling like him and some of the other staff on the Ravens feel a little underwhelmed by, like, they had to almost compensate for taking Trey Hendrickson instead of Max Crosby. And, you know,
Yeah.
Max Crosby is Max Crosby. He's one of the five best defensive players in the league, in my opinion.
No, 100%.
Trey Hendrickson is just not that.
He's not. Like, yeah, it's a downgrade for sure. But if I see it like this, if the trade, because the trade got voided, Trey Hendrickson, like, you went out and got the best free agent, edge rusher, defensive end, and the free agency class. You kind of just had to settle for him. And if you like, at least you got a somewhat of a great player other than Max Crosby. Like, at least fans could, like, obviously it's not Max Crosby, but I think fans could be like, you know what, man, at least we didn't get Max Crosby. But I think if he plays a full season and dominates and continues those pressure on quarterbacks, and what Trey Hendrickson does right now, I think that they're going to be okay with it. Um, the one thing that, yeah, it's upsetting, but they had you have an opportunity to, I don't think they actually do this, but I'm positive they do. Just lie on the physical and just take the risk.
Yeah.
It's Max Crosby. Just say he passed it. Like, there's no way that like Jerry Jones. Let's say this for a second. I'm always going to compare stuff like this little cheeky stuff, to my owner and Jerry Jones. He's for sure lying on some of those physicals. And he's passing players, or he's failing. Like I know like if the Ravens were so gutted, why didn't they just not back out of the trade? Because even when you fail the physical, you can still keep the player.
Yeah. I mean,
Like,
technically,
like, like I think he's just saying that just so the fans, I don't know, stop being pouty or something. Because, man, you're truly not gutted if you're like, I'm still gonna void this trade. I'm still gonna back out of this trade just because he didn't like how the short term recovery was, or he didn't like what was it? He didn't like how quickly the short term recovery was gonna be. He wished
that's
that
what
it
I
was.
read.
He
Yeah.
yeah he wished it was a long term one.
No, I read that they were fine with his short-term recovery, but they weren't comfortable with his long-term recovery. So they felt like he would be okay, but they felt like his knee would deteriorate over the coming years because he tore.
And for yeah, for sure would. I think, but you take that risk. It's Max Crosby. You take that risk. I don't like I get it that he's coming off of a meniscus tear. You take that risk.
I agree.
And they knew he was hurt. They knew
Suck.
he was hurt, though. They knew he was hurt. You're now his bosses. You can tell him to get, hey, we're still going to pay you. I do not care if
Yeah.
you're ready for week 1, 2, or 3. Lamar Jackson's going to go get it done in those 3 weeks while you're gone. Miss 6 games. We
Yeah.
need a player like you in the playoffs. Sit out for the
No,
rest of the year and just come to the playoffs. We'll make sure that knee gets 100% healed. I will take that. I would have taken that risk every single day of the week if I was the Ravens organization. So when they say they're gutted and they're upset about this trade falling through, I honestly don't believe what they're saying, because they still had the chance to take the risk on it. And I think this league, if you want to win, you have to take a risk sometimes.
this is just drastically diminishes a lot of suitors for Max Crosby. Like
Yeah,
I
like
think
now
Crosby
a
will
lot of
be.
teams have like a lot of teams are either gonna back out and be like, hey, yo, what is actually going on with this guy's knee? Or whoever gets him, I think is going to be very smart and now have leverage on the Baltimore Ravens and be like, hey, we're not going to give you 2 firsts. We're not even going to give you a first. We're going to give you a second.
Yeah.
But just because I need, like, in a perfect world, like in a realistic world, Max Crosby was worth that price any day of the week that the Ravens were giving up.
I agree.
But
I
but
I, I
yeah,
agree.
Yeah.
And
And,
he's one of the game's greatest defenders, and he's absolutely worthy 2 first round picks in this day and age, 100%.
and now the leverage changes
Yeah,
to you could get him probably for a second round pick now. Just because the leverage changes to these teams because of the failed physical.
yeah,
And I think the Raiders are going to keep him around. And I think it would be smart for the Raiders to keep it around instead of keeping him around instead of trading him. But
yeah. There's been like a little bit.
oh,
Well, go
sorry, go on.
ahead.
You got it.
I was just gonna say there's been like a little bit of like a resurgence in the building. Like even he left and they were still signing guys, but now he's back and like there's so much optimism in Las Vegas. Like this might honestly be the best opportunity to win something that he's had in his career. If he stays, I'm not gonna say if he stays with the Raiders this year, but if he absolutely decides to be a Raider, I think this could be his best individual season. He could win the most games he's ever won. He could go the farthest he's ever gone with the Raiders. Like I said before, I think they could contend for the AFC West. So why would he not want to be a part of that,
Yeah.
especially if he didn't want to leave in the first place?
It's actually, yeah, like that Twitter video that he made that he was like, that he was literally saying that there's no hard feelings in Las Vegas. He likes Las Vegas. Look at his house he has in Las Vegas.
It's sweet.
Who wants to leave that? I would love to be held captive in Max Crosby's house. That's a
Yeah, no, I don't blame you. I don't blame you.
it's a castle.
No
But yeah,
blame.
like and I honestly, Max Crosby is a 10 out of 10 guy.
Yeah.
He was going to be a true professional and go to Baltimore and make the most out of it. And now he's back in Las Vegas. If I'm him, I'm going into the front office. I'm going to go sit down with whoever he has to sit down with. I doubt Tom Brady would be a part of it, even though he's a minority owner. But I'd say it's probably who's the owner that's the what's his
Mark Davis.
yes, Mark Davis.
Yeah.
Don't really like looking at that guy.
Oh,
But
weirdest haircut ever.
yeah, the worst. Literally the worst haircut ever. Yeah. But yeah, like, Mark Davis would probably be in that meeting. And I'd be like, don't. If I was Max Crosby, I'd be like, don't trade me. Do not trade me to another team. We can be very good this year, or we could be at least decent this year. But we do have to move on though. Do you want to say one more thing on this Max Crosby trade?
I'm good. I'm good.
So let's just talk about. So I want to talk about the Dallas Cowboys before we end it. But first, I want Kirk Cousins released from the Atlanta Falcons. Didn't play that much this year. Kyler Murray released from the Atlanta Cardinals or Atlanta Cardinals, the Arizona Cardinals officially. He's probably going to be the Vikings. He's going to the Vikings. But let's talk about the Dallas Cowboys. Um, like we were saying, do we believe Jerry Jones when he's saying he's going all in? And remember what I said? I don't believe a single word that Jerry Jones says. There was a lot of talent that could have helped this defense. There was a lot of talent that could have helped this defense in this free agency market. First, let's talk about the trade today. Odigizua getting traded for a third round pick to the San Francisco 49ers. I looked at that and I go, and Christian Parker's system, they play a nose tackle and two defensive tackles. I was like, oh, okay. What did we get? A third rounder. Okay, okay. What? Then they go and trade. Okay, and then I'm like to my brother and I go, you know what? Solomon Thomas.
Yeah.
He's gonna slide in right there where Uzo is gonna slide in. Oh, he's traded for a seventh rounder. Okay. I can confidently tell you, Jerry Jones has lost his dang mind trading away Uza and Solomon Thomas. I don't really care that much for Solomon Thomas. But with this defensive tackle department of the Dallas Cowboys, where's Quinnen Williams and Kenny Clark, that's a pretty solid defensive tackle pairing right there. Now add Uza in there. That's pretty dang good right there. Don't like that trade. Also, missing on Alante Taylor and Tariq Woolen and free agency, not bringing them in, not like, hear me out here. When you're a bad football team, a bad defense, you have to overpay players. You have to. You just have to. Look at the Raiders are doing. They're spending so much money on these players. When you're a bad team, like the Dallas Cowboys are, good offense, Super Bowl type offense, but that defense is a childish defense right there. When you have the league's worst defense in the National Football League, you have to go and spend the money, and you have to go spend a lot of it. But they trade for Rashad Gary. Cool. Cool. Like he was going to get released from the Green Bay Packers. The Dallas Cowboys traded a 4th-round pick for him, and we take on all that money that he's owned. Okay, so a bad move right there. Okay, but got pretty happy when they signed Jalen Thompson. He's a pretty good safety. I'm a big fan of him. I like that sign to a 3-year deal. But then today, I go, okay, the safety department is covered. We're good. Now let's get some corners here. Or a linebacker. Someone. Nope, gonna go sign another safety in PJ Locke to a 1-year deal. Okay. All right. Oh, but don't forget, we're gonna re-sign. The Dallas Cowboys are gonna re-sign Sam Williams. All right. Cool. This team is a mess. This defense is going to be the exact same defense next year. This team is not changing one bit. I don't like the draft is the only thing that I'm looking forward to.
Yeah.
Because that's when you know they're at least going to draft a stud at the 12 spot. Hopefully at the 20 spot too. But you know what I can see Jerry Jones doing, good old Jerry Jones doing in the draft. And I believe this. I believe this with my whole heart because Jerry Jones is Jerry Jones. He's going to draft a tackle in the 20th spot. Like an offensive tackle, not a defensive tackle. He's going to draft an offensive tackle in the 20th pick just because we're talking about the Dallas Cowboys here. When was the last time they made a fantastic decision? Maybe trading for George Pickens, but beside that,
Been a minute.
Been a long time. They're going to draft a stud. It's going to have to be a linebacker now at 12. It's going to have to be.
Has to be. Sonny Styles?
Sonny Styles, if he drops to the Dallas Cowboys, Dallas Cowboys are not gonna draft him, even if they fall. If Sonny Styles drops right into the Dallas Cowboys' lap, they're not gonna draft him. Because Jerry Jones has lost his mind. This guy, like I said when we talked about this last week or 2 weeks ago, has to be last week. Last week,
Yeah.
where I go, Jerry Jones. Like, do I believe in Jerry Jones and what he's saying? No. This is why I don't believe in Jerry Jones. Franchise take like honestly, Javonte Williams signing is actually tremendous.
Yeah.
That was a tremendous deal from Jerry Jones. I'll give him that. George Pickens franchise tag. You know what? Instead of signing all these players that I honestly could care less about, like PJ Locke and trading for Rashad Gary, I would honestly feel a lot better if he just gave that money to George Pickens, because at least we could watch George Pickens and CeeDee Lamb
Yeah.
play great football for the next 3 to 4 years, and then that defense is going to suck. There's a chance that they even get a 2nd-round pick if someone goes after Brennan Aubrey. So that'll be cool if we get in the 2nd-round pick, get into the 2nd round. But overall, this Dallas Cowboys team, they missed on Alontae Taylor, who would have been a perfect fit for this Dallas Cowboys team. Tariq Woolen. They missed, and Nakobe Dean had an option to either go to the Las Vegas Raiders or go to the Dallas Cowboys. The Dallas Cowboys are so bad and such an embarrassment of a defense in the National Football League that Nakobe Dean was like, you know what, I'd rather lose football games, and I'm gonna go to the Las Vegas Raiders.
I'd rather lose football games.
I'd rather go to a rebuild, like a full-on team rebuild in the Las Vegas Raiders, than go into a retooling defense of the Dallas Cowboys. That is just how Also, a lot of things could have happened too. Like he didn't want to stay within the division, a part of that Eagles Cowboys rivalry. But man, that's just like the big name free agents are off the board.
Yeah.
Dallas made their moves in free agency. They're going to just add depth piece now. They're just going to add pieces for the rest of free agency, the rest of the offseason. This draft better be very good to give Dallas Cowboys fans hope. Because this free agency, people would be like, no, like, Cowboys are having a sneaky good free agency or offseason. No, they're not. Like, no, they're not. They just opened up $7 million in cap space just trading away Uza and Solomon Thomas. I don't care about that $7 million. I care about the our front four was actually looking pretty good. Like Donovan Ezeraku would have been one of the ends beside Rashad Gary on the opposite side of Rashad Gary, or it would have been Uza on our three down linemen. Could have been like I don't know, Kenny Clark, Quinn Williams, Uza, Rashad Gary on the other side. Like our four linemen could have been that.
Yeah.
Instead, we are going to see Rashad Gary, Kenny Clark, Quinn Williams, Donovan Ezeruku, and then our backups, the Dallas Cowboys backup, are a guy that I can't even pronounce his last name. He just signed to a 1 year, $3 million contract. You actually want to Google the name Audio. I don't even know how to pronounce it. Just go to Dallas Cowboys free agent signings today. He's a defensive lineman. He's a defensive tackle. But Dallas Cowboys overall. Oh, they also, don't forget, they signed a backup quarterback in Sam Howell. Don't care about that. Javonte Williams, good deal. George Pickens better get a long-term deal now. Or he has to get something to make me feel happy. Because if we could watch CeeDee Lamb, Javonte Williams, and George Pickens and Dak Prescott football for the next 3 years, I will be content if that defense sucks because those guys are a lot of fun to watch because this defense is not improving. It's not improving one bit. Maybe Jalen Thompson, that's it, at the safety department. We got to pray that Siobhan Revel is good. And we got to pray that Deron Bland comes back. And also,
I think Siobhan Revel's good.
I know, I think he's good too, but we got to hope because last year was tough to watch.
Yeah, no, I agree. I just loved him in college.
Yeah, no, yeah, he was really fun in college. Like if he gets back to his college ways, the Dallas Cowboys could actually be all right. And with Siobhan Revel. Did you also Google the guy's name?
So I have free agent signings up right now. Was it free agency? Is that
Yeah,
100%?
they signed him today. Signed him to a 1 year deal, $3 million contract.
Otito Ogbanina.
Bang, that. So for the viewers at home, that's his name. He's gonna be a defensive tackle for this team, and he might start. Because if the Cowboys are going down to a three defensive tackle system in Christian Parker's system, he has a chance of starting alongside Kenny Clark and Quinn Williams.
Yeah.
But like this Cowboys offense is perfect, minus Terrence Steele. Good run game. I think Jadon Blue is gonna be all right. I think he's gonna start picking it up. Dak Prescott's playing at an all-time high right now. George Pickens is awesome pairing with CeeDee Lamb. Ryan Flournoy had a nice little outbreak near the end of the season, so he has potential right there. The defensive part, Deron Bland, Siobhan Revel. Those are question marks because how bad they played last year. I think Christian Parker also is like known to be a great developer in the defensive back department. So let's see what he can do if he can sprinkle his magic onto those players. Linebacking core. Overshown.
Yeah.
I like him a lot, but that's
Awesome.
it. That's it. Like the Cowboys are in trouble. The Cowboys are not getting better, and I don't see them making any big moves. And the next big move they do is someone's going to be The 12th overall pick, the next move that they make that's going to be ginormous is going to be the 12th overall pick on the draft, signing his rookie deal, whoever that may be. That's going to be the next move for the Dallas Cowboys because this Dallas Cowboys team is terrible. Defense. This Dallas Cowboys defense is terrible. It's not getting better. It got worse. It got worse today. That's how I truly believe. But am I wrong?
No, you're not wrong. I don't think you're wrong at all. I think that this Dallas Cowboys defense screwed itself when it traded Micah Parsons away, and from there it
And they're
has.
it doesn't seem like they're trying to like just like I think they know that they screwed up on trading away Micah Parsons.
But it seems like they're trying to like put band-aids over bullet holes with all these trades.
Boom! Right?
Like,
Right?
or these signings, excuse me. Like
Because think about it. Think about it like this. Think about it like this. I get that they did offer all these players. Like I said earlier, you have to pay. You have to pay a lot more. You have to pay probably $10 million over their actual asking price just to get signed.
yeah.
I know that they made an offer for Max Crosby. Go make an offer for Max Crosby right now. Go make an
I know.
offer. And they said yesterday that they are out on Max Crosby. If there's one team in the National Football League that has to take a risk,
It's the Cowboys.
it's the Dallas Cowboys. Because they just traded away a generational player last year and Micah Parsons to the Green Bay. They love making trades with the Green Bay Packers. When are they going to stop making trades with the Green Bay Packers? And when are they gonna win a trade with the Green Bay Packers?
It'd be nice if they did it at some point.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. But I think they just have so much work to do. But
Yeah.
the draft is the most important thing coming up. So focus on the draft and get your 12th pick going.
Yeah. It has to be a linebacker though. Like I don't honestly like I don't see it being a corner.
No, not at all. I mean, I could see it being Caleb Downs, but he's a safety. But
And yeah, and like, but I don't even see it being Caleb Downs anymore because they signed Jalen Thompson to a 3-year deal, and I think they know that he's not going to be there at 12 anymore because I think the Kansas City Chiefs are going to take them at 9.
I think there's going to be a highly thought of linebacker that's going to fall. So
Who
there
do you
you go.
think? Who do you think that's going to be?
I think it's going to be, man. I think you guys are going to get David Bailey.
And you know what? I would love that. I would
He's
honestly love that. He's a solid player.
Yeah, I mean, he
But
was one of the top 5 sack leaders in the nation. So there you go. I don't think teams, especially because of his combine, I think Sonny Styles will get picked up, as will obviously Arvell Reese and Ruben Bain. But man, if you get saddled with um what was
Bailey.
it? Yeah, Bailey. There you go. Like
Like that's great. Like I'm down for that too. And then a corner at 20. But how the Cowboys go, they'll make some stupid decision on the 20th pick, trade down to get back into the second round or something. It's just the Cowboys way, you know? Like
yeah.
you probably feel that with this offseason with the Seattle Seahawks.
Yeah, I do. I feel like the Seahawks are letting go of guys that they shouldn't, like Boye Mafe and Kobe Bryant. I'm not really as sad as about Reek Woolen leaving. Obviously, Kenneth Walker, that's a big blow.
Yeah.
But
But you
like
have JSN, you have Sam Donald, you have a good game
JSN.
manager and Sam
Yep.
Donald. You guys just won the Super Bowl. You guys can suck for the next 10 years. And at least you can say that because in the next 10 years, Dallas Cowboys are not even going to probably make it past a wild card round. That's how
I don't
bad.
I don't agree with that.
Well, like I hope they do. But
I
man,
think
like
the Cowboys are going to be good soon.
I hope. Let's say this. Let's say they don't end up signing George Pickens to a long-term deal. Let's say he walks after this year. He's chowed. That's gonna be one massive miss especially after how this year gone. That's gonna be the biggest miss ever. And who says he even plays on the franchise tag? Because he has not said anything yet about it. What if
I
he's
What's up?
like the type of attitude this guy has? Wouldn't even shock me that he sits out a whole year.
He's got crazy attitude. Like I'll say that. Like he's a very difficult personality to manage. His talent is just so great, though,
Yeah.
that's a classic case with wide receivers, though. Like, notoriously, wide receivers are divas, but then it's just
Yeah,
like,
like why is that? Just notorious for being like locker room cancers. Like AJ
I
Brown,
know.
Stephon Diggs,
Go back to Terrell Owens, go back to
T.O., like Chad
Yo.
Ocho sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, like, but I think Pickens wants to be a Cowboy. Like, I really think he wants to be a Cowboy. So I think it's important to sign him and have him because if he plays on the same line with CeeDee Lamb and if he's starting and he's sharing reps with CeeDee Lamb, then they're only going to free space for each other and they're only
Yeah.
going to free reps for each other.
Like, they were one of the best duos in the National Football League literally
Yeah,
just last season. And I like the free agency though. I like the franchise tag just because, insurance that he'll be on the team this year. Like it had to be done.
yeah,
But if you're gonna go and, you know, free up a lot of space, I'd rather have them sign George Pickens to a long term deal than waste their money.
I agree.
Like Rashad Gary, he was going to be released from the Green Bay Packers.
Yeah,
You didn't. You could have got him for a lot cheaper than you did. Now you have to take on that contract. I don't think any of it is. I don't think all of it is guaranteed though, so that's a good thing. But
yeah,
luckily, it's a 2027 fourth round pick. But
yeah.
still, that's crazy.
Yeah, no, it is. It's insane. It's just this is such a big off season for the Cowboys because Jerry Jones, his age and whatnot. Like this is
Dak
huge.
Prescott, and Dak Prescott just broke up with his girlfriend. We're
Oh
about to see this
man,
guy sling it for 5,000 yards, 50 touchdowns, and one interception this year in league MVP. But you know what's going to happen? Our defense is going to let up average let up is going to be 50 points, and Dak Prescott's going to have to score 57 points just to win the football game.
yeah, no, as always.
Like I will never, like I honestly don't think I'm ever going to forget that tie against the Packers this year. Like I don't think that's ever going to leave my mind for the rest of my life. A 40-40 tie.
Ties are so painful in the NFL.
But especially a 40-40 tie.
40-40
Your
ties.
team needed one stop. Both teams just needed one stop and they couldn't even get it done.
Yeah,
But the Cowboys just needed one stop and they were at home.
yeah, and you got to get it done at Jerry World.
But you can't.
Get it done at Jerry World next year. Like no more 40-40 ties. All
Like that's
right.
ridiculous.
Yeah.
Or go out and get a real football player because they don't have any real football players on that defense.
Yeah. You know
Quinn
what?
Williams,
You know
that's
what
it.
I would
Quinn
do?
Williams, that's it. Kenny Clark, that's it. Overshown, that's
No,
it.
no,
That's
no, no.
three. That's
Uh,
that's three out of 11 guys that could be on that field.
Start Brandon Aubrey at safety.
Honestly, he'd probably do a tremendous job. That guy. I hope I understand not paying him like $10 million.
Yeah.
But losing him will be so devastating because all Dallas had to do was just get the half field.
Yeah.
Now, if we bring in a new kicker, or if the Dallas Cowboys bring in a new kicker, no, I'm going to say we because I'm so emotionally devoted into this football team. It is a we. This the new kicker, whatever they bring in, is just like who knows if we could trust him from 50 yards out.
Yeah. No, like, but you still got BA.
Still got BA as of right now until we get a second. I'll be happy with a second rounder. If we get, what would make me feel a lot more comfortable
What?
if they have. Obviously, they keep those two first round picks. They get back into the second round. They now are in the third round. They have a fourth round. Like those, like that would just honestly make me a lot comfortable if they get in that second round. I think I've been saying for the week now. If the Dallas Cowboys get back in the second round, that's gonna be huge
It will be huge.
because so much talent. Like for every team that's in the second round right now, they're lucky. And if they have a first round pick still, they're lucky because the amount of defensive talent in this draft class alone, there's gonna be a lot of great linebackers in the second round. Anthony Hill Jr. Keep an eye out on for him, Anthony Hill Jr. If he somehow, because he's got injured at the combine, so his draft stock might have declined. If he drops to the second round. Whoever picks him up in the second round is getting a baller because that guy was fantastic at Texas.
Yeah.
But hey, this episode was longer than usual because it was the free agency chat. But Nick, I know it's too long. I don't care that it's long. Let's talk about one more player. You picked a player or you picked a team. We'll talk about it.
All right. I'll take you up
I
on
know, I
that.
know, I put you on the spot, but it's the free agency special. So,
Okay, free agency special. Malik Willis going to the Miami Dolphins.
what about Geno Smith going back to the New York Jets? Now I'm just playing, but yeah, Malik Willis going to the Miami Dolphins. See, he's only played. He hasn't even played double-digit games yet in the National Football League. I think he's only played what 6 games. No, he only played 6 games last year, right? No, what was it? What was it?
I so I have him.
How many games has Malik Willis played in the NFL? Because I'm pretty sure he only has
He
a
started 3 games.
in the NFL.
He started 3 games, or at least with the Packers. I have 6 touchdowns, and he completed 78% of his throws.
Yeah, because he's only thrown, I think, in his career in the National Football League, 112 passes. Let me Google this for a second, and then we'll chat about it. Um, let's just because like Malik Willis, like I'm gonna say this: the Dolphins are gonna stink this year. They're in like a rebuild phase. I understand it. They're also eating $99 million in cap of Tua. So Malik Willis and the deal they got for him is actually awesome.
It's
Like,
a really good deal, and the 45 million guaranteed. It just
but like it's
it's
quarterback. It's a quarterback money, man. Quarterback market.
yeah, but it's also reasonable enough where it doesn't hurt them too much if he doesn't pan out.
Mm-hmm.
That's my
I agree.
opinion. So that's my pick for this. He's joining his former defensive coordinator in Jeff Hafley because Jeff Hafley is the new Dolphins head coach. So there's
So
some familiarity, but I that's I like Malik Willis. I'm a Malik Willis guy.
I'm not a Malik Willis guy. I'm not.
No,
So he has only started 6 NFL games. He's 3-3, 6 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. The reason why I honestly I think I am a Malik Willis fan. I just don't trust it because how can you pay? How can this guy like how can you pay him starting quarterback? It is starting quarterback money when you barely seen anything from him.
I in this day and age, you can justify throwing money at certain guys with just how much money there is. That's what I say.
That no, that's true. And honestly, like he looked fantastic when he played in those games in Green Bay this year.
No, he did, and I can't help but feeling like he will be a breath of fresh air for our Miami Dolphins franchise that is desperately needing someone new at quarterback.
But like, I don't know if it's just me, but I just can't get out of my head his rookie season in Tennessee. How hard those 3 games were. But Tennessee, but like, I get the team was actually pretty below average in 2022.
Yeah.
But man, he looked awful in those games.
Yeah, I
Um,
mean, I agree. I think there's like the Dolphins are taking a risk. Like I believe in Malik Willis, but there certainly is a risk that the Dolphins are taking. And
but you know what the good point is too? In the last 2 seasons, when he's played football games, he hasn't thrown an interception. So he started his career with 3 interceptions and 0 touchdowns. He now has 6 touchdowns and 0 interceptions. So you know what? You could take that. And Miami got a good quarterback.
yeah,
Now you just take it by that knowledge. But overall, like we haven't seen enough in Malik Willis because Tennessee obviously like honestly, right, like wrongfully, and I can say this wrongfully, quit on him so early. Like Tennessee quit on Malik Willis after 3 games.
yeah, and they have Cam Ward now, so
Well,
it's
yeah. That, like, it made sense.
no, but like it doesn't.
But like in 2022, it kind of didn't make sense because in 2024, he didn't see it. He played in 3 games. He threw 5 passes, and then he goes to Green Bay. He went 2-0 in 2024, and then 0-1 in 2025 as a starting quarterback. But looked good in those two in 3 games in Green Bay over the last 2 years. He's looked fantastic.
I think the Dolphins absolutely did the best that they could, given the situation at hand in free agency. That's what.
Yeah, 100%. I agree with that. Like, to be honest, like, with it's not a strong quarterback free agency class. So you know what? You had to go, and you're just eating $99 million in cap with a Tua deal in dead cap. You go out and take a risk on Malik Willis, and think about it. If he sucks, if Malik Willis is terrible, and they go and get the first overall pick, and they draft a quarterback, it's the tank for. Remember the tank for Tua when the
Yeah,
Miami fans were saying tank for Tua. I think it's tank for Arch now.
no, it is. It's tank for Arch, and I don't know. I don't believe in Arch Manning. That's just me. I'm not
Dude,
going to get into it right now. I'm not going to get into that. But that's that.
we could actually talk about that because I'm also not a believer in Arch Manning.
I
Like, dude, I don't. It's the name that hyped him up, and I think the name when you have such a historic name like that, like last name,
yeah.
obviously the expectation is loud or high. College football and the betting apps made it the worst on this kid,
No, I know.
making him the Heisman favorite going into the year. Who in their right mind put a backup quarterback that's a first time starter a Heisman favorite name? So, like, honestly, he could be a very good quarterback, but the pressure situation for kids like that with a name like with a name like that, and just kids that share such a powerful last name around the whole world, they usually are going to crumble under that pressure because
Yeah.
you have two Super Bowl winning uncles.
Yeah.
Peyton Manning is your uncle.
Brother, I got to go to the bathroom really
Okay,
bad.
we'll end it off. We'll end it off like right now. By then, we'll end it off right now.
Are you sure?
Yeah, yeah. We'll talk about what like, we'll just. Can you wait like 2 minutes and we'll talk. We'll finish off
No,
talking
I
about.
can't. I'm
Okay,
being
go,
honest.
go. Yeah, go.
Sorry, bro.
Oh, you're chilling. You're chilling. This. Um, but yeah, let's move on from Arch Manning because like we could talk about Arch Manning another time, probably when college football seasons or starts up again. But let's finish talking about Malik Willis. Our overall thoughts are like my overall thoughts. I think it's a good risk. You have to be risky sometimes in the National Football League, especially with a weak free agency quarterback class like it was. Like, what were they gonna go try and spend $1 billion on Kyler Murray? Like, no, Malik Willis makes the most sense for the Dolphins, and I hope he succeeds. What's your final thoughts on him?
Honestly, I think it's a good risk for the Dolphins to take, like you said. And yeah, there's just not much out there right now. And going back to last year, in the middle of the season when we knew Tua, like obviously Tua wasn't performing well. We knew he wasn't going to be the long-term guy. The talks were about waiting for the 2027 draft in general because the 2027 draft is supposed to be chock full of quarterbacks. Um,
Next year's draft class is a skillful, beautiful work of art on the
there's
offensive
so
side.
many quarterbacks.
So quarterback, not even just quarterbacks, great running back talent.
Yeah.
Great, but only if everything like aligns and they all declare, because a lot of them are juniors that are coming in next year. The receiving talent. It's Jeremiah Smith's class next year too, eh?
Essentially, yeah, it
But if he
is.
if he declares, he should declare. He should declare. Um, like, but the quarterbacks too. It is an offensive masterpiece next year. Like this year, like not a lot of people are seeing it as a good draft class. This year is a defensive master class. Next
Yeah.
season's an offensive master class. And then 2028, I haven't even looked at 2028 yet.
I have no idea what's going on for 2028, but it's funny. You're right. Like this year is like we're potentially going to have three linebackers taken in the top 10. And then next year we have Arch Manning, Lenora Sellers, like just to name a few. We have
Like
Sam.
I know we're like running low on time, but I wanted this episode to go longer just because I'm gonna name off some potential talent. This will be our last topic of the day. Some potential talent for next year's draft class that Dallas Cowboys fan, can hopefully put my eyes on.
Let's hear it.
But also, I'm just gonna say the skill players in general because like next year's draft class is great. Let me just Google it. 27 NFL draft class potential because prospects, but it's if everything aligns and they declare, it's awesome. So here we go. So let's just go with Jeremiah Smith, Julian Say, Dante Moore, like two quarterbacks right there. Dante Moore at Oregon, Julian Say at Ohio State, Arch Manning, um, um, like also a lot of good cornerback positions too. Player that I'm actually a fan of, and he's also. I really like Texas. I've just realized I really like the Texas players. Colin Simmons, baller. But let's just go look. I want to highlight. Can I just highlight one position? This website is so glitchy.
What website is it?
It's the NFL Draft Buzz. This is where I've been getting all of my like draft like this is the website where I kind of get like, wow, what's the draft class gonna look like in like year 2030? They literally have high schoolers or well, not high schoolers. They have like sophomores. Yeah, they'd be sophomores or they'd be freshmen right now for 2030. But Nate Frazier, Mark Fletcher Jr., Kawan Lacey, Isaac Brown, and Ahmed Hardy will highlight the running back class in 2028. Tremendous work right there. Um, Wide receivers, and then we're gonna go look at a full list of the quarterbacks. So this, like, I'm getting a call right now. Let's end that. Um, Jeremiah Smith, Cam Coleman, baller. Ryan Williams
Oh,
down here this year, but if he picks it up, T.J. Moore, Brian Wesco Jr. Like those guys are gonna highlight that 2028 draft class. In the receiving department. In the quarterbacks, I think I've already said it. Dante Moore, Arch Manning, Julian Sand. Like the next year's draft class in 2027 is tremendous. It's beautiful. Julian Sand, like, is probably going to be the best quarterback in that draft class next year. Maybe Dante Moore. I really like Dante Moore. C.J. Carr, Notre Dame quarterbacks in that draft class next year too. Lenore Sellers, like you said earlier. Um, Sam Levitt, LSU's new quarterback, is in this draft class. Like stacked draft class next year, like offensively. Like honestly, a lot of teams are going to be tanking for Julian Sand or Arch Manning, however the hype goes. But yeah, what do you think about those draft class in 2027?
it's way better than this draft class in terms of star power and potential explosive offensive scenarios that you can apply to different teams. I'm excited for next year. I love the draft. So like every year, like I'm a big draft guy. Like I love getting a guidebook and then like being able to like I usually make my own mock draft each year and then I try to see if I get it right.
Yeah,
That's but next year for sure in terms of like the star talent, it's off the charts.
yeah. It's off the charts, but we do have to end this episode. We covered so many different topics in this episode, from free agency to Bill Belichick to college football to what we think about Malik Willis. We covered a lot, and I think this was a very successful. I want to say NFL offseason episode. But I'm Daniel Federico. That's Nick Tazio. This is the Daniel Federico Show. We'll see you guys. We're gonna record Friday, release Saturday. So we're going to do that. We'll see you guys Saturday. Ciao.
Ciao.